And also in the State of the Union, you talked about the quote here, the serious challenge of global climate change. Were you talking about global warming there?
Absolutely. And it's a serious challenge. And one of the things that I am proud of is this administration has done a lot on advancing new technologies that will enable us to do two things, strengthen our economy and at the same time be better stewards of the environment.
I believe that man's activities certainly can be contributing to the issue of global warming, climate change. Here in Alaska, the only Arctic state in our union, of course, we see the effects of climate change more so than any other area with ice pack melting.
Climate change is real. It's happening. I believe human beings are contributing to it. And I think that our party should embrace this as an issue for us.
I think that John McCain's position is not really very different than most Republicans.
You agree with him on global warming?
The fact is that we have had climate change. Clearly, humans have something to do with it.
I believe that climate change is real.
It's not just a greenhouse gas issue. It's a national security issue. We have an obligation to future generations to take action and fix it.
Now it's time for Congress to act by capping greenhouse gas pollution. If we act now, we can create thousands of new jobs in clean energy industries before our overseas competitors beat us to it. So come on, Congress, let's get moving. Cap greenhouse gas pollution now.
We don't always see eye to eye, do we, Newt?
No, but we do agree our country must take action to address climate change.
We need cleaner forms of energy, and we need them fast.
If enough of us demand action from our leaders, we can spark the innovation we need.
I am no scientist, but I've traveled throughout the world with Senator McCain and others and seen the effects of a warming planet.
Do you support capping carbon emissions?
I do.
One thing that all of us have a responsibility to do is to recognize that climate change is here, it's real.
That we should move towards the most effective possible steps to reduce carbon loading of the atmosphere.
I think the risks of climate change are real, and that you're seeing climate change. I think human activity is contributing to it. I would develop in this country sources of energy which will allow us to be free of foreign oil, but sources also that don't emit CO2.
I've been to Greenland, I've been to the South Pole, I've been to the Arctic. I know it's real. I've been involved in this effort for many years, and we've got to act, and unfortunately, we have not acted either as the federal government or the Congress.
I consider myself a conservationist. I think we ought to have some cap and trade. It worked with acid rain. I think it could work with CO2 emissions. I think we ought to be out there talking about ways to reduce energy consumption and waste, and we ought to declare that we will be oil-free of energy consumption in this country within a decade.
I try to tell conservatives the word conservative ought to imply caution. And you don't have to win 100% the argument that global warming is happening with human interface to say a strategy which minimized carbon loading of the atmosphere, which would sound like a rational strategy. And if you can find a way to do it that's economically affordable and that has a good quality of life, why wouldn't you do it?
We must put a value on carbon. Until we put a value on carbon, we're never going to be able to get serious about dealing with climate change longer term.